Hey everyone, so I was asked about wrist pain yesterday, and basically it's wrist pain during press ups, but this will be relevant to any exercise where you've got your hands on the floor. So basically, no one ever thinks about what they're doing with their hands when they have them on the floor in planks, in press ups, bear crawls, any of these sorts of exercises, and it's really, really important to stop wrist pain. If you can think about all the wrist nerves coming through here, basically what people do is they just kind of put their hands on the floor like this and they just jam all the weight through here. And if you look there, you can see there's no gap. And basically people are pushing the bottom of their wrist together like this where all the nerve endings are. So what I get people to do is actively push through their fingertips and their thumbs and the backs of their knuckles. And you almost want to think about, one, just doing that, but also think about trying to make the finger go a little bit white. So you know when you get pressure in it, it goes a little bit white. Try and look for that. So what happens is this: instead of being there, everything jamming together, and you get wrist pain, look what happens when I spread my fingers out and then start pushing through the fingers, pushing through the knuckles, and pushing through the thumbs. Can you see that space starts to appear? And then as soon as I don't, closed. There we start pushing and we get that gap, so there's a bit of gap, there's no pressure going through the wrist here when you do that, all for just how you put your hand on the floor and where you put your intention. So whenever you've got your hands on the floor, whether that be press ups, whether that be planks, then weight through the fingertips, weight through the thumbs, weight through the backs and knuckles, and just spread the fingers out a little bit. It makes your base wider, but it also opens the shoulder joint out a little bit, because it's really common that people close up the front of that shoulder. When you kind of are like this, it facilitates that. When you open it, you'll probably start to feel the backs of your shoulders actually start to light up a little bit when it starts to work, as the front of the shoulder starts to open up. So get in front of a mirror, have a go at that, push right into the fingers right against each other, push the thumbs against each other, push the backs and knuckles against each other, and then try it in a plank. So that should help. If, however, you've just got inflexible wrists and when you're on the floor, you're basically just in a big stretch, then you can start to incorporate gentle wrist stretching. And this can be as simple as this. So it looks really weird, but a good way of warming the hands up is just to go like this. Literally just to go like this. So yeah, just go like this for like 15 seconds and then start doing some wrist circles like this. Think about drawing as big a circle with the thumb as you can. Change direction with them. I'll do like 5 one way, 5 the other, and I'll probably repeat twice. And then once you've done that a couple times, I'd recommend going through both of those a couple times. You can start to come down onto the floor, so we can start to just rock back and forth gently. You want to point the fingers towards yourself. And again, push through the backs and knuckles and the fingertips. Oh, not in the camera, there I am. And then you just gently rocking back to the point where you can't go any further without lifting your wrist, and then going forwards. And it's just back and forth like this. You should get a bit of a stretch, but you shouldn't feel major discomfort. If you do feel major discomfort, then just stick with the wrist stretches that I showed you at the start, and mostly just let your wrists recover. Give them a couple weeks just to not put much weight through them. Again, just rock back like 10 times. Then from there, you can go onto the backs of your hands and you can do the same. Just making sure none of the hand lifts up. You might get this stretch all the way into the forearms. I actually find if I do wrist stretching a couple times a week, then I never get any issues with my shoulders, and I've had a long history of shoulder issues. And I got from like 10 years ago when I first went into the gym and lifted like an idiot before I knew what I was doing. And then from there, these are like my favorite wrist stretches or finger stretches. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get your shoulder right over the hand here, and you're gonna literally just pick the fingers up. So you're just gonna pull the thumb back a little bit, exhale, See if you can lift up a bit more. Keep all the other fingers down as you do this and just go through them. I'm just kind of doing this as a you can do it with me sort of thing. So if you weren't ready for that, just rewind the video and go along and do these real time with me. And then over to that little finger. And then we can start to build some strength into the fingers. So it's really common that our hands are always closed and tight. So why not try and go the other way? So we can try and lift the thumb up and just having the intent to, even though literally my thumb hasn't moved, we'll build some strength into it. And we go over to the index finger, over to the middle finger, that one actually lifts. Ring finger, little finger, and then just give that wrist a little shake out, a little bit of movement where it feels good. And we'll go over to the other one. Exhale, lift that thumb up. Exhale, index finger. Exhale, middle finger. Ring finger. Little finger. And then same again, just trying to lift the thumb. Keep your elbow straight, you'll want to bend, but keep it straight. Just have the intent to lift it, don't worry if it doesn't even lift. Index finger, that one doesn't lift. Middle finger normally goes. Oh, and weaker on this side doesn't. Ring finger, little finger, and give it a little shake, a few circles. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you get any discomfort when you're doing that, just let your wrists relax for a couple weeks and try not to load them up and then come back to it. But if you get any wrist pain at all, but you can do those, then do them ideally before every time you train, but at least a couple times a week. And do not forget your technique when you've got your hands on the floor. I know through coaching experience, it's something people get really, really sloppy with, and the details do really matter on that stuff. So yeah, if you found this useful, then do let me know. If there are any other areas you struggle with, things that give you pain, sometimes it's a form fix, other times maybe you do need an injury rehab specialist, but a lot of the time, to be honest, in my coaching experience, it's just down to poor form. So if you enjoyed this, drop it a like, drop me a comment, and if there's anything else you want help with, just let us know. Cheers.